So this is the first round. I won the die roll, and I choose to play second because you want to draw with a deck like this. I keep this hand because Student Warfare can possibly be really big if I draw one planes, like on the second turn. So I keep it. And my opponent plays Bramble Snap, and so I'm presented with a choice here. I can pass the turn, or I can swing into him and hope that he blocks. And so he does block. So I trade Eel Umbra for Bramble Snap. I could have protected my student, but I don't know that I'm drawing a plains next turn. And I would rather kill Bramble Snap than be overrun by it. So he ends up having the Stagger Shock here. So I should have attacked first, but I wasn't really worried about the 1 point. But I'm satisfied with trading Eel Umbra for Bramble Snap because that is possibly the most dangerous creature he can have. A Crusher is tough to deal with, but that or Bramble Snap. I know he's playing tokens. He has to be if he's playing Bramble Snap. So it's really, really dangerous. Anyway, played Dawn Glare there. I don't really have any other options because I'm not blocking Tuk Tuk. Plays a solid 5-drop Hatcher. And I am left with this turn. I want to Guard Duty Hatcher because I don't want to take the damage, but that is not a smart play. That is a fearful play. I should be more afraid of Crusher because one of those would ruin me, and Regress wouldn't even do much with it. So I have some options here, but I choose to go ahead and just play McKinley Griffin because that can block Hatcher. And next turn, if I draw land, then I can play Teacher and level up Cryptologist. And, that would be best use of my mana. I'm fine if he uses Might of the Masses there to kill my Griffin. It's better the Griffin than my face. I'm actually happy to see him play Crusher because it empties his hand and I already have the Guard Duty for it. So go ahead and drop the Teacher, level up the Cryptologist. I Guard Duty Crusher, and then I swing with the Invoker. I still want to block Hatcher with the Griffin. I trade it for Teacher by also blocking with Griffin. I'm okay with a pump spell. It doesn't really ruin me here. It's just inconvenient. But like I said, I still want it to go to the Griffin instead of my face. Rapacious one's a bit more troubling, but now I'm going to be drawing 2 cards a turn, so it'll be more likely that I can deal with it. I decide on Guard Gomazoa because he can only trample over for 2, so it puts me on a 4-turn clock, and I have him on a quicker clock. And I also have Regress to be sort of like an emergency break if he does something drastic. At the moment, he doesn't have anything to do with the tokens, but I figure if he has a Invoker, 4 tokens is plenty to make me dead. So 2 more tokens is not going to matter that much. I haven't decided that I'm going to maximize my mana and play Griffin and Line Slinger this turn, because Griffin puts him at dead next turn. And so I could play around Might of the Masses with Regress, but it's better to just give him 1 less turn to draw something dangerous. Especially considering I'm still taking damage from Rapacious one anyway. So I end up taking that game. My opponent chooses to play last, which I think is wise. I kept this hand. It's sketchy, but I figure if I am lucky and draw an island, or actually 2 islands, then I'll be fine. So I rip an island, which I love. I don't play Cryptologist because it doesn't do jack for me. I'm going to be emptying my hand as much as I can in the next turns. I don't need to be trying to draw cards. Dump out Sky Scout because if he taps out, I can attack into his spider and get one more mana out of my situation. I think about attacking, but if he has a pump spell and he eats my Sky Scout, that would be annoying. Especially considering he knows I'm going to have Mammoth Umbra. I should have, if I was going to attack, I should have done it beforehand, but I didn't. I wasn't going to attack. I go ahead and play Mammoth Umbra on Sky Scout because he has, there's no shenanigans he can pull here. So I go ahead and swing and get my extra mana out, and I just hold up Deprive because I have no reason to play Cryptologist. I mean, I could play it, but it's better to just be ready with Deprive. It does telegraph that I have it, but until I drew the teacher, I wasn't planning on playing Cryptologist. So since I have 3 islands, I go ahead and just play teacher and do that. I could have deprived this. Also, I could have leveled it up, or leveled up the Cryptologist during my turn, and, been ready to draw a card, but it wasn't worth it. Playing Escort was retarded because he has Stagger Shock here, and I was just thinking about maximizing my mana. I just deprived the Might of Masses that he used to block my Sky Scout with, because I want to. Sky Scout is going to put him in a rough position here. So it's got a lot of tokens, but not much to do with it. Double Raid Bombardment would be kind of the worst thing right there, but he doesn't have that. So I put him to dead next turn, and he drops his Lava Fume Invoker and swings with everything, but since he has to sacrifice 5 tokens, he can't deal me really that much damage. I block incorrectly because I block Hatcher with Totem Guide. I should have blocked Venerated Teacher on Totem Guide because Hatcher is going to be a 6/3, and Totem Guide would be good to have around next turn if I somehow end up not being able to kill him. But that's not the case, so he does the best he can and deals me a lot of damage, but not quite enough. And so I win that game. We have a chat on plays that we did and things we could have done differently. And he's a pretty nice guy, so it's rough. I think his deck's pretty good, so it's he loses to this controlling blue-white deck, which I'd be happy to face actually if I was playing a tokens deck, but I ended up having a really nutty draw this last game. So please watch the second game, or second round.